What's up guys, WOOO here, back again, another Division 2 video guys. This video, something a little bit different. I want to highlight a particular skill variant that I feel is not getting the love that it deserves by players within the game. Now if you use this particular skill variant, then make sure you comment below how you use it, why you use it, and how effective it is for you and your team. Now I play a lot of content in a group. I find that the most fun, effective and rewarding experience possible within the Division 2. So I like to use a lot of variable different builds, and this build, yes guys, this build I'm using now in the background is an Eclipse protocol build, and we know guys that is the most effective status effect setup bar none. Now what has really elevated this particular skill, which is the Shocktrap, is the Eclipse protocol gear set, and especially the chest piece and the backpack. And we know way back when the product first launched, this particular skill variant came out way back in Warlords of New York expansion. It was a very underutilized skill. Why? Because it was executed very poorly. And again, we know that when you deploy the Shocktrap, way back when, what would happen is it would not go into cooldown until the Shocktrap was destroyed. And in doing so, you'd have to wait another 40 seconds to be able to use it again. And with the Shocktrap, in its early doors, was at a point where it was highly situational. If you're not plugging it in a spawn trap, or a point where you know there's going to be multiple NPCs at any point, it is rendered redundant. That's how I found it. I've done many builds centered around it, and over time it's become increasingly more popular. However, it needs to be a little bit more popular, guys, because it's actually top tier. Check out the gameplay. The good thing with this is, in Title Update 10.1, it had a bit of a stealth buff. And again, you may or may not have noticed. I'm just going to highlight this now. So the Shocktrap base cooldown was increased from 50 seconds to 60 seconds. That's 10 extra seconds. But what are we getting to counter that? The Shocktrap base duration increased from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So when you deploy your Shocktrap, you have 60 seconds of that bad boy being active and deployable on the floor. That means you've got a minute of NPCs potentially tripping up on your awesome Shocktrap. Now, what you have to bear in mind is that is just the base duration. Once you spec into status effects and increase that duration, you could have this up for the best part of 80 seconds, which is immense. And again, you know when you deploy the Shocktrap, what happens next is it immediately goes onto cooldown, which, guys, you've guessed it, if you have a 40-second cooldown, half the time of the duration, you can just hold your right or left bumper, dismantle it, and then within a couple of seconds, it's ready to go straight away. And that's great. I really enjoy the Shocktrap now. It is highly dependable in most situations. And if we just take a look at the duration now on my one, you can see, guys, the cooldown is 37.7 seconds with 16 traps, 4.2 meter radius. The shock duration is 8.4 seconds, and the overall duration of the Shocktrap being active on the ground is 75.5 seconds. That for me is excellent. I've been running very many missions utilizing this Shocktrap build, and guys, it shreds. It helps and really elevates your team's damage. So Shocktrap coupled with another status effect skill is also amazing, and I highly recommend you look into the Shocktrap and other like-minded status effect skills. For example, the Riot Foam. They're in a really good place now. Rolling in a team with a DPSer or two, you are going to be the main man who are just fixing these NPCs in place, while the heavy hitting rifle builds will just smash through any NPC. So guys, I'm a huge fan of the Shocktrap. I believe it now has not just a viable place within the Division 2 portfolio of skills, but absolutely brilliant. It's one of the top 3 in my opinion for heroic content. Legendary content, I'd say that's a little bit of a different push. Still, it's viable and it works. However, heroic missions, guys, this is a go-to on any status effect builds. Guys, of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you drop them below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.